Lesson 79 is about 45-45 triangles. And that is another one of those special triangles, just like the one we learned before that was the 30-60. Now, as you can see here in this drawing, a 45-45 triangle has two equal angles, and for that reason, it has also two equal sides. So it's also called an isosceles right triangle. Now notice that we have the 90-degree angle, that's our right triangle, and then the 45-45 that add up to 180 total. Now, as you remember from the other triangles, the 30-60, these triangles, these special triangles, have the same characteristics always. And that is that if this side is the same as this side because it's an isosceles triangle, and then I do Pythagoras, 1 square plus 1 square equals x squared. That would be 1 plus 1. So 2 would be x squared, and x will be the square root of 2. So here is the square root of 2. Now, if you remember, what happens with these special triangles is they always behave the same way. So what are we seeing here? Is that the two legs or the two sides that are here forming the L in the triangle, these two, they are equal because they are isosceles, so they are equal sides. And then to find the hypotenuse, we just have to multiply that number times the square root of 2. Is that simple? So let's look at some examples. In this first example, you can see that we have a right triangle that has one of the angles that is 45. So we can assume or say that this is also 45 because if we subtract 90 minus 45, the other one is always 45. So that means that these two are the same, and I can just say here that y equals 4 because we know that they are equal. These and these are the same measurement. Now to find m is really easy. We just multiply the other side times the square root of 2. And that's it. That simple. You just have to know it by memory. The two sides are the same, and the hypotenuse that is bigger than the two sides, we multiply times the square root of 2. Always. Now remember that if we go from small to big, we multiply. But if we go from big to small, we divide. And that's what we have to do in the second example. They give us the hypotenuse, which is 10. Now, how do we know that this is a 45-45? Because they're telling us that it's an isosceles triangle with these two lines. So if it is an isosceles triangle, we have to divide 90 divided by 2, which is 45 and 45. That's how we know that this is a 45-45 triangle. Okay, so we're going to go from the hypotenuse, which is bigger, to the side, which is smaller. So we have to divide by the square root of 2. So x equals 10 over the square root of 2. Now, if you put that in the calculator, that's going to be 10 square root of 2 over 2, which simplified is 5 square root of 2. Now, that is the measurement of that x of that side. And we know that they're isosceles, so those two sides are the same. So y is also 5 square root of 2. And that's it. That's simple. Don't think this is hard or that you're not understanding. It's just so simple that you might think you're missing something. But all you have to know is that the two sides are the same and the hypotenuse is the side times the square root of 2. Okay, it's your turn. So now try to do this by yourself. Pause the video, do it, and then check your answers. Okay, so now that you did it by yourself, let's check. Here we have 10 and x. They are the same. How do we know? Because they're telling us here that this right triangle has an angle of 45. So the other one is also 45. Okay, so if that is 10, then x is also 10 because it's an isosceles triangle. And then to go to find the hypotenuse, we just have to multiply 10 times the square root of 2, which is 10 square root of 2, and that's it. Second example, we do the same. It's an isosceles right triangle, so we know this is 45-45. So we can use the same rules, and we go from hypotenuse to side. So we're going from big to small. We have to divide by the square root of 2. If we divide 3 divided by the square root of 2, we have to rationalize that, and the answer is 3 square root of 2 over 2. And that's it. Now that's m, n is the same, and we just write it here. Pretty simple. I hope you guys like it. It's a really fun, easy mini lesson here. Now I did here a little summary for you of the 2 special triangles we've learned, which is the 30-60 and the 45-45. Notice that the shapes are different. The 30-60 has 3 different sides, and then the 45-45, very easy to identify. All right, so let's remember what it was. If this is 2, then the bridge is half, and the other one is times the square root of 3. And then I can easily just put an X next to all of them to be able to find them easily. So remember, this is the bridge. If you go from the bridge, from the smallest to the big one, you multiply times 2. And if you come back, you divide by 2. And from the bridge to the medium, you multiply times the square root of 3. And if you come back, then you divide by the square root of 3. Pretty easy. For the 45-45, you put a 1 and a 1, and then 1 square root of 2. Notice that the 30-60 has square root of 3, and 30 and 60 are multiples of 3. And then the one that is 45-45, which is 2 equal angles, has a 2 here. So it's easy to remember. And we can do the same. We can put the x and the x. And that tells us that any number that we use, we can use these same rules. And that's it. Very simple. I would recommend you write a little summary sheet with these 2 things so that you remember when you are solving your exercises. Remember again, you multiply times the square root of 2 when you go from small to big, and you divide by the square root of 2 when you go from the hypotenuse to the side. And that's it, chicos. So go do some practice, and I'll see you in the next video.